Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Phire Football Radio Show. I'm your host, Matt McGrath, alongside Luigi Coppola and Zach Schmola. This is the second episode of the Phire Football Radio Show as we are about to start the NFL regular season tomorrow night, September 9th, 2021. And as a reminder, we will be live from the Store studio every Wednesday night on WHUS Stores 91.7 from 6 to 7 to bring you the latest news, rumors, and more about America's game in the league we all know and love, the NFL. The season starts tomorrow night, September 9th, 2021, as I said, with the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the visiting Dallas Cowboys. Zach and Luigi, what's going on, baby?
It's a fine Wednesday evening, Matthew. I'm ready to get started. Talk some NFL.
Yeah, it feels great to be here on the eve of regular season football.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
It's like Christmas Eve.
It's better.
Football.
It's a little bit better, I would say.
It's significantly better.
You don't get as many
opinion.
gifts, you don't get as good of food, but you do get a Thursday night football game with the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a revamped Dallas Cowboys team, as you would say, with Dak Prescott returning from a major injury. A lot of good things with Hard Knocks being said from their aspect, and we will see them start the NFL season tomorrow night. There will be full-capacity fans in the building.
Oh, yes.
Which we're also very excited about.
So excited.
And as a reminder, the call-in number, if you are interested, is 860-486-9487. That's 860-486-9487. And then we do have a Twitter. It's at Phire Radio. That's Phire Radio. So please give us a follow on Twitter if you're interested and like the show. And so I guess we'll get right into it, as it is 6:03 on the dot. And a couple weekend review, as we always do, once we get into the actual action. After this upcoming weekend, we will have more injuries and stuff in terms of weekend review, as we usually did. But we'll start our topics of talk with weekend review. The first one, Carson Wentz is likely to start week 1 versus Seattle. Had a foot surgery just a month ago.
I mean, if they're going to have a chance to win anything, it's going to be with them.
Yeah.
Is it, though?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Quentin Nelson's playing. I think that's what really matters in this situation.
Yeah,
and
of course.
The fact that he's playing is truthfully the only impactful injury report that we need to hear. I don't think Wentz, based on what I've heard out of their camp, is all that much ahead of Eason. I know they're very shaky with Eason as he hasn't started an NFL game, but that roster alone, it's just not something that I see making a significant change, especially against a Seattle team that I think is primed and ready to go this year.
I agree. Seattle is opening up at 2.5-point favorites at the Colts. It's a 1 o'clock game on Sunday. The Colts, I think they'll have a better shot at winning with Wentz. I know the Colts do like Eason as well, right? That's what came out.
They do, yes.
So they're not opposed to having Eason in at quarterback with Frank Reich at the helm. But I think having Wentz there, veteran guy, who hopefully will have a better track record with the Colts than he did with the Eagles, will hopefully start Week 1 against Seattle. Next up, J.K. Dobbins, running back for the Ravens, tore his ACL, unfortunately, this past week. And then in response, the Ravens signed All-Pro Le'Veon Bell to the practice squad.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like it. It's a great replacement. Being that he's just signed to the practice squad doesn't mean that he will be on the practice squad. He's expected to be put on the 53-man roster upon Dobbins and one of the other backup running backs being put onto the IR for the season. Definitely a great replacement amongst the replacements that were possible. You had names like Bell, you had names like Gurley, you had Peterson. Big name guys, some, as most would say, are past their prime, but if you're going to get somebody, I think getting Le'Veon Bell was definitely the best option.
And he's a good replacement type of play-wise for Dobbins as well. And that's something they need in that backfield. And I hope he doesn't get discredited too much for his season in Kansas City. I mean, he talked a lot about how he didn't get a real shot. When he was on the Jets, I mean, everybody saw his production was much lower than it had been in Pittsburgh. But he still had almost 800 yards from scrimmage. He had almost 500 yards in the air. Well, not passing, receiving, excuse me. Red zone production was still a problem. He only had 4 total. And then last year was what it was. He had 2 touchdowns, and the yards aren't even worth talking about. So, I mean,
I think him not finding the end zone is the big part of this whole production downgrade. Like they are just respectable for a running back group where you had Williams as well, and was this Clyde Edwards-Helaire as well too?
Oh yeah,
well, at least early on in the season before getting hurt. I think Bell's a great replacement. His play style is a little different than Dobbins. Dobbins more of a downhill north-south runner, and Bell, as we know, is one of the most patient backs to have graced the league.
Well, I guess I should have said someone that can step in.
No,
can receive.
No, I understood. Yeah. You absolutely were right in that he is a great replacement. He's going to be able to do things that Dobbins was able to do, but it's a little different. The Ravens' offense is a little bit north-south, especially with this run game, and I still expect Gus Edwards to get a pretty heavy share of the carries.
Yeah, he definitely will get a fair share of the starting carries, but to have Le'Veon Bell coming in as just a signee to help out, I think he would be great in the run-pass option game just because of his sleekness behind the line of scrimmage. So I think he will help the Ravens in, I don't know if an extreme sense is the right way to say it, but any guy helps, next guy up. Dobbins losing out on the season obviously sucks for him and sucks for the Ravens because they expected great things out of him this year following his rookie season, but we will find out how Le'Veon does, and we'll move forward to the Saints. The Saints released Latavius Murray, running back. Murray came off one of his most efficient seasons last year and refused a pay cut to stay with the team.
Coming off a season where he averaged 6.8 yards per target, his highest of his career. I understand him not wanting to take a pay cut. For his role, I don't understand it. But for him, the player, I do. He is a great running back. I think he can find a spot somewhere on a roster. But coming in the fact that it's the 11th hour, it's kind of hard for him to be on another roster week one. You saw the injuries with the Ravens. Definitely a big spot for him to possibly have gone, but that ship has sailed at this point, in my opinion.
And it'll probably take another injury like that before a team is willing to change the chemistry that they've been building all training camp.
It'll happen. I think it'll easily happen. He's good enough in terms of the veteran sense where he can easily get signed by any team and fit into whatever structured offense they have. And he's just proven to be very good.
Only 31 years old, too.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I mean, I know for a running back that's a little bit on the older side.
He's getting there.
Yeah, getting there. But at the same time, you're going to have injuries. We saw J.K. Dobbins just a couple days ago. That happened. And now they quickly signed Le'Veon Bell. So I think Latavius will be somewhere. Obviously, we don't know anywhere yet, but we'll keep you updated on that. Steelers and the outside linebacker T.J. Watt are nowhere near a new deal. The talks are apparently getting ugly, but Watt returned to practice today.
Yeah, I mean, coming off a season where he led the league in sacks, you would really think that the Steelers would go very hard for him.
You would think so.
He was an All-Pro and runner-up for the Defensive Player of the Year award, too. And I know those are more accolades than on-the-field type play. And even Mike Tomlin today said that you want a guy like T.J. Watt to be on your team long-term. Obviously, Mike Tomlin's not the head of these conversations, and he's not the one that's bargaining each way, because if a coach was in charge of those decisions, he would have been signed weeks ago. It's just hard to see someone who had 15 sacks leading the league just kind of fall out, and led the league in tackles for loss too with 23. I mean,
no, he's a phenomenal player. I think we've known that since his older brother JJ has been in the league, and the Watt brothers are just a football team. A football family. I mean, they could put a football team together.
They could
put a football team together if they wanted to. But, yeah, T.J. Watt not getting the money he deserves. I mean, even Big Ben said it, and Big Ben's probably on his way out at this point. But in order to keep the team together, in order to give Big Ben one last shot at winning, you need that guy. And you'll have him for this year, but even if Big Ben stays beyond this year, you're going to want him next year too. And he came out and said immediately that he didn't understand why they weren't paying him, and that they should pay him, which is completely correct.
That's absolutely correct.
Yep, absolutely correct. And moving on to a different team, once again in the NFC North, the AFC North, the Ravens extended tight end Mark Andrews, making him the third highest paid tight end in football, just behind Kittle and Kelsey. What do you think about that signing?
I'm sure he probably pushed for it. And he's a really good talent, don't get me wrong, but his numbers in the past 3 seasons don't scream top 3. Because what is that? Not only is that top 3 currently, that's top 3 all time.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, basically at this point,
every year it becomes that.
Yeah.
I mean, his best season, he had 852 yards.
Was that Lamar's MVP last year?
Yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 10 touchdowns. Fantastic. His rookie season was 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then last year he dipped off 700 for 7 touchdowns. So it's very productive. Like you can't say anything bad about it. It's just I don't know.
Not a passing offense, firstly.
Yeah, it's not a passing offense.
I think he's more of a player who plays more so not. And I mean this in the most slim way as possible, but a very Kittle-like player where he's known for his blocking and receiving. Mm-hmm. He's not the most agile. He does have impeccable hands, and he's a great red zone target. I understand the signing. Agree that he should be signed for another 4 years. The pay, like I must agree with Zach, is just a little too high. Making him over Hunter Henry, and putting him over Jonnu Smith as well, too, might be a little much. But for a team that's trying to keep a winning mentality for the next few years, I think it was a good move.
And maybe it was worth the premium, because like you said, he is a guy who's known for his pass block. If you're going to want to try and run that offense with Lamar and keep Lamar healthy for as long as you possibly can while he's doing his Lamar things, maybe a guy who can block in a league where there's not too many of them is worth the premium for, I don't want to call it average, but...
And truth be told, he is their number 1 receiver.
Production.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You know what? That's true, too.
I'm cool with it. I think it's hard to find good tight ends in the NFL today that both pass block and can receive.
For now.
Of course.
Until more Kyle Pitts start popping.
Right. And I know it's a hard comparison, but I think Evan Ingram was kind of that first Kyle Pitts sort of esque. And just in terms of his size and athletic ability, obviously he didn't turn out the way you wanted him to. But they are going to go with 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" guys who are 230 to 245 pounds that can move down the field. I mean, no one can move like Kyle Pitts.
The new model is Darren Waller.
Yes.
After seeing what he's been able to do with the Raiders, he's the new model.
Yes, and it's a similar model to Kelsey and Kittle, both of them. Mark Andrews is a little bit different, a little heavier on that side, but still a great blocker. Obviously, that's one of his strong suits, especially for that offense. If Lamar can't throw the ball, when it comes down to it, you got to run it. You're going to want him at next to the tackle.
I feel like Kelsey's just going to be the prototype for so long. Just the way that he finds space that's not part of the route is like so groundbreaking for a position that, like when it first started out, wasn't even a receiving position.
No, it was a red zone guy.
Meanwhile, he's turning it into like the most.
It's the new hot position.
Yeah, it's the new hot position. It's the most. I don't want to call it audibling, but like. He just finds space randomly. It's just not part of the route, and he can see it and sense it, and they trust him to go do that. It's really impressive.
It's such a mismatch position.
I think
it's such a mismatch.
The tight end U was really cool this summer.
I think it's very cool.
The summit they had, I don't know where it was. It was somewhere. It doesn't really matter where it was, but they had a tight end university summit. That's what they called it for those who didn't know about it, where basically every starting or backup tight end went to it. Led by Kelsey and Kittle
and Greg Olsen
and Greg Olsen, and just went to work for like 3 or 4 days.
Very cool.
Just teaching.
Very cool.
It's something that really never happens.
Might have been down in Nashville, that summit.
Was it?
I think that's right. I won't 100% guarantee that that's right, but that sounds right. But you only see that, truthfully. Quarterbacks are the ones that do that stuff. Quarterbacks, wide receivers, you're seeing them go to these 7-on-7s since the age of basically 11. They're going to play these 7-on-7s, and they're learning from other good quarterbacks. Then you have like the
passing league,
the Elite 11, right?
Yep.
So from high school, you take the top 11 quarterbacks, and you go put them in a room with all this quarterbacking talent. Carson Palmer's brother, I believe, Jordan Palmer, I believe he's the one in charge of that.
Right.
And it's really cool to see these guys trying to get together and share the wealth.
Yeah, I like it. I've seen some backlash, not on the tight end university, but I want to say it was a couple of years ago where it was after a game that I don't know if it was the Chiefs. It was after a game. A certain veteran lineman, defensive lineman. I think it was Tamba Hali.
Is this the Tamba Hali, Justin Houston
yes.
that you're talking about?
Yeah, where one of them was teaching the other certain moves.
Tamba Hali.
Yeah, after their team had just lost.
Yep.
And he's basically, promoting these different moves against his own offensive lineman, which came to question whether that was, an honorable practice or not.
It seems like that's the kind of guy that or the approach he has is that it's more of an art. And he's willing to pass his skills on to progress pass rushing.
Right.
In general.
Like that. Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, but I understand the argument because it's in the middle of the season. I understand doing these tight end university summits outside the season. I don't know if I specifically understand like you can give advice to a guy, but I don't know if you should be showing them moves. Like I know it sounds like a weird thing to say, but it's just odd.
No, I get that.
Maybe it was like
in terms of competition
that year.
So that was one of his latter years for sure.
Yes, no, he was
not only
that,
but that like Tamba Hali had been a very good player in this league for a long time, and you get a young guy, whoever it was, that approaches him.
I feel like it was Joey Bosa.
It was Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
I think I said
it was
Justin
a Chiefs.
Houston.
Yeah, Justin Houston. I think they're around not the same age, but
Justin Houston and Tamba Hali used to play together.
yeah,
throw that out the window.
Yeah, it was Joey Bosa.
So really, it's just I don't understand the backlash because firstly, as their teams are competing, they aren't competing. And you know what? Like Zach said, it's an art. You want to advance the pass rushing technique. You want better and better players because, truthfully, what they all do is they do this for the fans. They do it for the money. Mm-hmm. You want people to be seeing great talent doing great things. And I like it because when you think about it, like you ask an elder, more experienced person, no matter what field you're in, you could be in any sort of field. Obviously, right now we're talking NFL, but it's always good to advance the people behind you for the greaterment of the game, or the betterment of the game, I should say.
No, I understand it. I don't mind it. I just thought it was interesting at the time where people were upset because they were claiming it was devaluing competition during the regular season, which I fully understand that. Yeah. Do it in the offseason. You have from the end of some teams, the end of December and early January all the way through August. Obviously you're in camp from the end of July, but you got a lot of time where you can go and do that kind of stuff and learn from that. And maybe that was the first time Joey Bosa had actually met Tamba Hali or gotten the chance to talk to him about some things. But it's two-sided. I don't have any really problem with it. I just thought it was something interesting. So, overall, Mark Andrews is one of the highest-paid tight end in football, diverging off that. But another week in review news, Mr. Saquon Barkley for the New York Giants, a running back, sat out last year with an injury and is strongly likely to play on Sunday.
Bummer. That's a bummer.
What's going on with Bradley Chubb?
He's not going to play.
You don't think so?
No, he's stretched with the team. By the way, for everybody who's listening who doesn't know, Bradley Chubb is dealing with an ankle injury. He also got arraigned somewhere recently because he was driving a car with an expired license. Is that what the problem was?
He had multiple active parking tickets or something.
Something like that. Something with a car. It's some ridiculous thing. Yeah. And now his ankle's hurting, of course, and so he stretched with the team.
His ankle is hurting.
Yeah,
now that he's in legal troubles.
As soon as actual practice started, he left. I don't think he even stayed at the field. So that's not great.
Well, back to
Saquon Barkley.
Well, that's why it's not great.
And the game,
we need
the game, as we
defense.
should mention, is important, or especially important to this room, because we will be at MetLife on Sunday afternoon for the Broncos-Giants game.
We will.
So Saquon playing for my New York Football Giants is outstanding. Little bit nervous, because he had that injury at the end of week 2. An
ACL injury for a running back who relies heavily upon his knees.
On his knees and his ACL and MCL and Achilles. And hopefully, typically we see the injury happen where you need a full year to recover. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to give him that full year, and I think that's part on him.
I think he's not giving him
He's a beast of nature, so he may heal like Achilles would.
It's possible.
He's done it before. There was an injury, I think, either his rookie or sophomore year that he had that took him out for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. But He only sat out for 2, and it was supposed to be like an 8-week injury. But we do have a caller on the line. Our first call of the day, so we'll take them on. Caller number 1, what's your name when you're from?
Hey, this is Scott. This is Scott from D11.
Scott! What's up, baby?
Don't desecrate my parking spot.
Whoa!
I've been waiting to call in. I wanted you guys to get through your whole preview, but then you brought up, well, we're going to be there. Well, only because I'm not going to be there.
Oh, Scott, I can't tell you how many times I've thought about it and been so depressed that you're not going to be there.
Yeah, well, me too, brother. And I wanted to meet the other boys.
I know that was like the main thing because I'm going to bring a lot of them down, and the 2 ones that are sitting right here with me would have also been there.
I know. Whatever they will be.
Yeah, they will be now. So where are you going? You're going down to Florida, correct?
Yeah, I have a baptism for a grandnephew. So.
Oh, okay. We understand that.
Yeah. So, boys, I missed you guys last year. I'm glad you're together. Just one college football note. Apparently, your coach. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. That you got was it Edsel?
Yes.
Randy
coach?
Edsel. Yep.
Randy Edsel.
Yeah. So he's going to retire at the end of the year, but now he just dropped out. Now, is he okay?
He is not okay.
What is okay about this program?
Scott, he is not okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He. I don't know. I mean, so Scott, we went down to Fresno State the first week of the year. It was 117 degrees. We lost 45-0. Then we came into this past weekend. We had a home game at 12 o'clock against Holy Cross.
An FCS school.
Yeah, which I know is an FCS school, right, Scott?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yep.
Hey, I go back to Gordy Lockbaum was a two-way player at Holy Cross. I'm going to say it was 86 or 87. He came in 5th in the Heisman voting that year.
Jeez.
What a
Look
name.
it up. Gordy Lockbaum.
Gordy
Lockbaum?
Zach, look it up.
I'll do
Look
that.
it up.
All right, Zach's looking it up while we continue talking.
How does one even Lockbaum? Oh, you know what? I'll figure it out. You guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Gordy Lockbaum, 86, 87 Heisman.
Oh yeah, there he is. Look at that.
you found him?
Where are they now? Holy Cross football star Gordy Lockbaum. ESPN.com.
And he played both ways. He probably played 75 snaps, 70 snaps a game.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, so we didn't play Gordy Lockbaum on Saturday, but we did lose by 10 to an FCS team.
He had 44 touchdowns passing, 4,200 yards all-purpose, and led the team with 4 picks.
Oh, he had 4 interceptions.
And that was his senior year.
Oh,
That was junior year.
A junior year, okay.
Was that his best year?
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of numbers. That's a lot of numbers, boys.
That was
Those are
Gordy's
some
dream year.
big time numbers.
Mr.
Time
Lockbaum. Whoa.
Okay, so the point of my call, I want to get you guys on record
Oh boy.
for 4 different things.
I'm on
I'll
the-
go on record as well.
Okay. Yep.
Preseason predictions, Giants record, and one, I don't like the 17-game season.
Neither do we.
I'm going on record for that.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go around the room. I'll go first. Giants 8-9, may or may not be a playoff team, a wildcard team. Go.
Matt, go ahead.
I have them winning the division, so I'm going to go with 9-8.
6-11.
Ooh, who's that?
That's me. That's Zach. 6-11.
Okay,
Well,
Zach,
I also need him to not do anything good, or else I have to eat something I really.
Yeah, did you hear?
Oh, a reminder to all
Scott.
people listening to the show and to Scott. Zach Smola will be eating a shoe
A shoe.
live on the show
So we'll say 6-11.
if
I'm
the
very happy
New
with that.
York Football Giants win the division. And now to my prediction. My prediction is a solid 7-10.
That's fine too.
Matt?
Yeah, I said 9-8.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you listened in last week. My dad said you were in a tornado warning last Wednesday.
Yes. Yeah, last Wednesday was a shit show down here. It was a shit show. FCC's coming down on us now. What am I going to do?
Understandable. Yeah, I'll go 9-8, Scott. I completely understand 8-9. Like, you could win the division 8-9 if you wanted to.
Last year. I mean, we were in it the last game.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so
Screwed us.
Yeah, so we have, me 9-8, Zach 6-11, Luigi 7-10, and you said 8-9, Scott?
8-9. Write it down.
All right.
Write it down.
Yep.
We're going to come back to this. Okay,
Just
now
did.
Jets record. I'm going 6-11.
Oh,
Zach, who do you want? Or what's the record you want?
for the Jets?
Yeah.
Oh man, 3-14
3-14.
for the Jets.
Yeah.
Yikes. You can fall down and win 3 games.
Especially in the 17-game set,
man.
Scott.
Well, unless you're the Lions. Or,
I know they got better, but so did the Pats and the Dolphins, and the Bills are really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what their schedule looks like. Give me just 1 second.
Not good. All of the AFC East teams have cakewalks.
Right. Luigi, what do you got? Give me a number.
I'm going with 5-12. 5-12. I think Zach Wilson can pull off 5 wins, and I like Robert Saleh. They're headed in the right direction.
I think he's doing a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with 5-12. I think the ceiling is like probably 6-11, what you said initially.
Ceiling wise, I would say they could go 8-9.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
possible.
if they have a really good year and Zach Wilson proves to be phenomenal, but we haven't seen much yet.
I'm
Obviously,
seeing 5 that they could really snag
and 3
if they wanted
preseason
to.
games and then 2 weeks until the real game. Is like, this is ridiculous now. This is,
Yeah.
yeah.
it
What do you
is.
think about the preseason setup?
I think it sucks. I mean, 3 games and then 2 weeks off.
Yeah, that's a lot.
These guys need repetition. They need every day.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Yeah, I do. I understand the 3 games. I don't mind. The long time off. I don't agree with. It makes stale time makes stale bodies.
Yep.
So
They should be playing this. They should be playing. They should have played last weekend.
Yes.
They should have started the season last weekend. You still get your buys in. So
I agree. I don't like.
Okay.
I really do not like the 17-game season. I don't. There's no more 500. You're either above or
all
below.
right. 2 more things to write down. Who's the MVP?
Oh, we're getting to that.
Yeah,
Scott.
we were going to get to those, Scott. Who do you got, Scott?
Sadly to say, I think it's TB12.
Oh.
You don't know how much bile's coming up in my throat right now.
Oh, I know. But you can't deny it, can we, Scott?
No, we can't.
No.
Death, taxes, and Tom Brady.
Death, taxes, and Tom Brady. That's right.
Zach, who
And
do
the
you...
grumpy lobster boat captain in New England. You know?
Zach, who do you have as your MVP?
I might have even picked him when we did this sophomore year. I'm going to pick Russell Wilson. Yeah.
The return of Russell Wilson.
The return of well, I don't think it's really a return, to be honest with you, Scott. I mean, he started off really well, and he ended up with 13 picks last year, but he did throw 40 touchdowns, and he had his highest career completion percentage ever, 78.82. So, I mean, how much closer to 70 could you really get there?
Interesting.
And he had 500 yards on the ground. That's last year. So,
That's a solid pick.
yeah, I don't know.
And I think they have a softer schedule too. So
in the division's going to be tough. That's going to be the big problem. I guess the question will end up being like, can he get them to the playoffs, and how far does he push them through? But
yeah, all right. Luigi, who you got?
I'm going with Josh Allen. I like this Bills team.
Nice. Well done.
Really do like this Bills team. I know he's one of the favorites, and I know that's typically not how this type deal works, but I do like Josh Allen. Saw his throws to who was that, Gabriel in the preseason, and I was just absolutely stunned.
A beam.
It was on a rope.
Laser
It was
beam.
a line.
laser beam.
Straight
You know what? It
to
was
his hands.
reminiscent of Randall Cunningham.
Absolutely. Strong-armed guy right there.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, Scott.
I got yours. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, boo.
Oh, let's put the baby in a diaper.
It's no surprise, Scott, but we can't deny the talent. And
No, you can't.
The Chiefs are great, and I almost picked Tom Brady too, because I'll do the Super Bowl picks if I think that's what you're going to get into after this. But
Nope, I'm not.
Oh, you're not. All right. Well,
we're going to leave that to like November.
okay, that's fine. All right, so you got our MVP, Scott. What else?
All right, I got one more.
Sure.
yards for the leading rusher. I don't care who it is. Yards for leading rusher. So we're not doing names. We're just doing yards.
Just yards.
Without going over. I'm saying 1,358.
Okay. Zach?
Write it down.
1,358.
There it is.
Interesting.
I know we're not supposed to be saying names, but do you have someone in mind?
There's only one name.
I have no idea.
No idea?
That's why I say it's wide open. Just who's going to lead the league?
You know what? I want more than that. Last year was over 2,000. I'll pump the brakes a little bit there. I don't think it's going to be 2,000 twice in a row, but I'll go 17.5.
Wait, who ran for 2,000 last year?
Derrick Henry.
2,027
from scrimmage.
Okay. Well, yeah, he had 2 games of like 258.
Yeah, he's something else, man.
Anytime he plays the Texans.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll go 17.5. 1,750.
I like Zach's number. I am gonna edge that up a bit. I just love Derrick Henry. I'm going 1830.
1830.
You guys are writing all this down, right?
Absolutely.
Yo, absolutely.
We're going to monitor this weekly.
We are.
Okay.
We are.
Yeah.
Hey, you keep Scott.
That's
you keep
fine.
calling. We'll keep monitoring.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to go 1720. I don't think it'll be 2,000, and I'm not going to name any names, but it's not going to be over 2,000. I don't think that's how it's going to be, but it'll be up there. So 1720 for me.
All right, there we have it. Those are my questions. I'm done. Peace out.
Hold on, Scott. One more.
All right.
One more for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Giants Broncos this weekend.
Jeez. Giants 21-17.
Oh,
Okay.
please.
Okay. No, that's not. I was going to go 2017.
It's a catastrophic mistake, Scott.
21-17.
All right, Scott. That's awesome. We will miss you at the game, Scott, but I appreciate you calling in.
Just bow down to my parking space, gentlemen.
I'm gonna show them which one it is.
Oh, it's next to your father. It's to the right of your father.
Yes. Yeah, no, I know exactly where it is. We'll take a picture in it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we will. We'll send it to you, all right?
All right, guys. Have a great show.
All right, Scott, enjoy the baptism.
Peace. Bye.
What a beautiful call from Scott from D11. He will be truly missed this upcoming weekend at the Giants game. He parks next to us every week at MetLife Stadium when we go to Giants games. One of the truest season ticket holders you can find, and just a football knowledge guy. We will keep those statistics for you, Scott, since you're still listening, and we'll continue to go in. But we do have another caller on the line, so we'll take them on just about now. Caller number 2, what's your name? Where are you from?
MetLife Stadium when we go to Giants games. One of the truest season ticket holders.
Caller number 2, what's going on?
How you doing, boys? This is Anthony. My friends call me Pasta.
Oh, Anthony Pasta. What's going
Mr.
on?
Pasta.
Well, I just wanted to say how happy I am to hear you guys back on the air. Missed you last year. I didn't make it to the last show, but I did see on Twitter at Phire Radio that Zach will be eating a shoe.
I'm not eating anything.
That's not true.
Not
He
eating
said it
anything.
last week. He will
may
have to
have
eat
to.
it.
I won't because
I saw the clip. I don't know.
no.
No, you
Well,
won't.
you saw yes, but also no, because they're gonna be awful. Well, no, okay. Well, they're gonna be just bad enough.
Where they don't win the division is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Save me.
What's going on, Anthony Pasta?
I just want Zach to know that I will also be at MetLife on Sunday.
Oh, I know.
What that's a coincidence right
A
there.
very extreme coincidence, Mr. Pasta.
Oh, I mean,
Crazy.
yes. I don't know anything about this, Mr. Pasta.
Then that first one on the road, I'm going to be wearing my gym shoes, which I will graciously donate for you to eat live
I'm
on
not eating your shoes.
I say we make it Anthony Pasta's shoes.
No.
Is it on the air? Watch it.
These are my terms.
It's on the air. He will eat your shoe if it comes down to it.
There we go.
All right, Anthony, we appreciate the call, my man. Anything else?
That's all, boys.
All right, brother. We'll see you soon. All right. Anthony Pasta back on the line after Scott from D11. A couple interesting callers. Zach, you will be eating Anthony Pasta's shoe.
Eating his
After the season, when the New York Football Giants win the NFC East at a huge 9-8 record.
huge. It's gonna be
Huge
huge.
9. It's going to be huge.
We'll see.
Now we will see. Indeed.
Next.
All right. I don't think we missed anything else. We were going to get into our preseason awards. Obviously, we spoiled a little bit with the MVP voting. But we will start with the Super Bowl champions. Obviously, this is way too early to be deciding this, but we'll do it anyways. We'll mark it down, as Scott said. We'll see it week by week, how it's working. But we'll go to Luigi first. Luigi, who is your way too early Super Bowl winner?
Now, before I get into this, there is a caveat. I'm picking the Chiefs. My caveat is, unless it's against the 49ers.
Oh, please.
Then it's the 49ers. But I don't expect these 49ers to make the Super Bowl quite yet. Just quite yet. I expect them to win the Super Bowl if they're in it, but not make it. I know this sounds quite asinine. It does.
No, I get it.
My Super Bowl prediction, though, is that the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl. I actually could see the Chiefs going, what would it be now, 20-0? 20-0.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chiefs have the best ability to go 20-0 of any team that there has ever been. And let me just tell you why.
Did you have the Ravens going undefeated last year? Was that you, or am I thinking about somebody else?
You might be thinking about the right person, but I don't know who that person was.
Pay no attention.
That was many a time ago. This was like 2 school years ago at
Sorry,
this time.
I didn't mean to call you out on that. But
don't call me
I just
out.
remembered it.
I'm not
vividly.
always right, but when I'm right, I am absolutely right.
All right.
So let me tell you this. The Chiefs, I like them to go 20-0, but I'd more so like them to win the Super Bowl. The look on all of their faces walking off the field after old Tom beat their bums really has me convinced. I think Tyreek Hill's coming back, and I will be speaking more on him later in the show. I think Travis Kelce's coming back and having a fantastic year. Not that he's never going to have a bad year. I think that revamped offensive line is hungry, ready for some pancakes. And I do think that defense is primed. I think the defense is very primed, young and primed.
All right. So the Chiefs for Luigi as the early Super Bowl winner. Zach, on the other side, what do you have?
I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers. We said, I think it was unanimous last week, right? We had them winning their division.
Oh, yes.
NFC North.
Yes.
Yep. Barring some ridiculous injury or something ridiculous of that nature, I think with flying colors, they may even get the number 1 spot in the NFC, depending how the Bucs do. A couple other teams will be up there. I really kind of thought they were going to make the Super Bowl last year. I was really disappointed in a couple of key moments in that Bucs game. I think everybody's familiar with a few of them. Aaron should have ran it. I think that's what they're calling the play.
Yep.
I don't know. Defense is really solid. Offense is phenomenal. We saw that he can perform just fine with the talent that he's got. He got one of his old buddies back. Robert Tonyan had a breakout season last year. He's coming back. We'll see if he can continue. I like him. I like him a lot.
Matthew?
All right, so Chiefs for Luigi, the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau for Zach. And I'm going to pick, it's not a surprise because I did pick them to be in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs last year. I didn't mention on the first show, but I did correctly pick the Super Bowl before the playoffs started last season.
Yeah, you actually did.
Not to mention we didn't have a show, but both Zach and I can confirm he
It's
did
true.
pick the
It is
Bucs
true.
Chiefs Super Bowl.
Yep, I picked the Bucs Chiefs Super Bowl before the first playoff game after the season had ended. Just a little praise on that. But either way, I do think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going back-to-back. I don't know when was the last back-to-back. Was it the Patriots?
Yeah.
Early 2000s?
0304, I believe.
Can we confirm? Eric, our guy in the back, confirmed it is the Patriots in the early 2000s. And it will be the Patriots quarterback of the early 2000s bringing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back to the Super Bowl and winning it. They brought everything back. They have multiple Hall of Famers spread out everywhere on their team. Their offensive line is phenomenal. They have Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette at the running back position. They have Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, Chris Godwin. Antonio Brown apparently it is now looking like he's Antonio Brown of the Steelers era.
Yeah,
you saw that.
That's crazy.
My fantasy teams like that a lot.
Fantasy team looks good with that. And at the helm, we do have Mr. Tom Brady, a 7-time Super Bowl winner. I think he's chasing excellence. Obviously, he is the most excellent, but he's chasing excellence to the point where Mr. Mahomes won't be able to achieve that once he starts playing for so long.
You see what Tom said today?
No, I did not.
He said he's chasing Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
But what is he chasing? I was a little confused. I did see that, actually.
I saw
athlete of all time.
Yeah, I saw their comparisons.
Yeah, but he already has more rings than him.
He
wants
does.
to
He has more
transcend
rings.
sports.
He has the same amount of Pro Bowls.
Yeah, but people are like, he can't run. He's not athletic. He's not the best athlete
Well,
ever.
yeah, obviously, but he could be the greatest sports player ever, which he might already be.
Well, I don't say that. I'm just saying folks do say that.
Yes, it's fair. I still think the greatest NFL player of all time is Jerry Rice, as it will always be.
Come on.
Okay, all right. Well, anyways, with the Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, Tom Brady came out, or something came out earlier today other than that specific statement, that in each of his home gyms that he has around the country, he has multiple homes because he's wealthy, Gisele's wealthy, they have everything they want. He has Super Bowl countdown clocks in each gym as motivation. And it starts as early as the day after the first Super Bowl.
Do you think if he doesn't make it, like on years he doesn't make it, he just sits by himself and watches it tick down?
Like it's New Year's?
But it's like a sad New Year's, like the day he never wanted to come.
Yeah, it's not a great year coming
He
up.
probably just resets it for the next year because he's out of contention.
Yeah. I mean, this guy had won the Super Bowl this past February, and literally the day after was on the field in pads doing something with someone. Mm-hmm. So that is easily my Super Bowl pick. It's not likely. It's hard to go back-to-back, but they returned everything. The defense is loaded. They're really in a great position to win. So that is the Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs for Luigi, the Packers for Zach. I'm the Buccaneers. We went into the MVP already, correct? So we can move on to the Offensive Player of the Year. Luigi, who you got?
Now, what I was saying earlier with Tyreek Hill. My Offensive Player of the Year is Tyreek Hill. I know it's very early, obviously. I like this for many reasons. I like this because I think the Chiefs are going to go 20-0 on the back of Tyreek Hill. I like this because Patrick Mahomes is coming back with a vengeance. I like this because this offensive line is going to give Patrick Mahomes time to come back with a vengeance. I think Tyreek Hill goes over 1,700 receiving yards this season. I think Tyreek Hill leads the league in yards this season. I think he leads the league in receptions this season. I think he leads the league in touchdowns this season. I think that this is the year of Tyreek Hill, and we all need to watch out for the cheetah.
Excited for that, for sure. I didn't really disagree with many of those statements. We'll keep track, as Scott said, as we have to week by week. But, Zach, who you got for Offensive Player of the Year?
Offensive Player of the Year. So I didn't pick them to go to the Super Bowl, but I do think, Matt, the Buccaneers are going to have a fantastic season, and I think that there's no way for Tom Brady to not succeed on this team with this offense, with this defense, and I have him as Offensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to throw a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns.
All right, I took Christian McCaffrey. He's returning from a devastating injury last year. Another one of those running backs similar to Saquon Barkley that didn't play at all really last year. But McCaffrey was the offensive was he the offensive player? No, he wasn't. He got beat out by Michael Thomas.
Slant boy.
But he got beat up by
ridiculous
reception
That's
slant
right.
boy.
The most ridiculous thing I have ever seen.
Yeah, I remember you weren't happy about that. And I agreed with it just because of how many receptions he had, because he broke the record. But Christian McCaffrey's back. He's healthy as ever. We haven't heard any bad things about him. I think he's going to be great. He's just Christian McCaffrey, and we're going to leave it at that. Defensive Player of the Year, Zach, who you got?
Okay.
No. No. It's not happening.
Immediately.
I don't want to hear it.
I picked Von Miller for Defensive Player of the Year.
Zach, how old is Von Miller?
I don't care.
How old is Von Miller?
I'm not going to answer that question.
How old is Von Miller?
That's a relevant question. This is okay.
You know what? It is your pick. I will give you the respect you deserve.
This defense is the best that it's been since they won the Super Bowl this year.
Agreed.
If there was going to be a year for him to come back and really prove that on this back ladder of his career he still has, 5 more years to play, which is what he wants, then this is the year to do it. He's got defensive line help. He's got people in the backfield. I mean, really the highlight of the whole team, which is surprising to say because him and Bradley Chubb are on the D-line, is the backfield. I would not be surprised if he ends up with like 16 sacks this year in a 17-game season. I mean, what led it last year? 15?
15 did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible he could have like 4 against the Giants. We will find out on Sunday.
That would make me so happy.
Yeah, but it's too bad because Bradley Chubb had some sort of mishap, and now he's not playing. But Saquon Barkley is. All right, Luigi, who you got?
I do have Myles Garrett. I think this revamped Browns defense is very impeccable and one of the best that we've seen in a really short period of time. And I think that Garrett is really the catalyst of that defense. I think pairing him with Jadeveon Clowney was a very good idea. I think pairing him with John Johnson in the secondary, Greedy Williams, amongst others, Denzel Ward, we could name them all day, and drafting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. They have great coverage, and I think that will create a lot of coverage sacks for one of the freakiest players in the NFL.
Yeah, he's pretty freaky.
Freakiest. Not only physically, but everything he does, his strength, his size, everything, all physical aspects of this man. I think he's got the Defensive Player of the Year.
All right, I take T.J. Watt. I think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's beaten out just because Aaron Donald, and Aaron Donald gets doubled as much as he does, and he's interior most of the time, so that's probably why he won. But I do think that T.J. Watt's going to have a great year. If he's in a contract scenario year where he's not going to end up playing for the Steelers after it, I think he's going to go off. He's going to go off no matter what. But we will keep going with it. So those are the Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Zach, who you got?
I want Najee Harris. He's in the best position to succeed with that team.
Luigi.
Trey Lance. Shanahan's a genius. That's all I got to say.
I got Mac Jones. I think he'll just have the most time to accumulate stats, so that's why I got him for the Pats. Defensive Rookie, Zach, who you got?
I got J.C. Horn. I think he's in the... I didn't pick Pat Surtain on my Broncos. I don't think he's going to see enough field time to win Defensive Rookie of the Year with that loaded-up cornerback position.
I disagree with Zach. I think Pat Surtain gets plenty of field time, is actually that number one corner in that room, and wins Defensive Rookie of the Year.
All right, I'm going to take Micah Parsons, drafted, I think, 10th or 11th. It was 10th overall to the Cowboys. Phenomenal talent out of Penn State. He's been all over the field in preseason. I think he'll rack up a ton of tackles, some picks, and fumble recoveries. Comeback Player of the Year, Zach, who do you got?
I'm going to say Dak Prescott. I know there's been a lot of whatever about him not being ready, but it seems like he's ready to go. NFC East is, it is what it is. I think he can do very well this year.
Luigi.
I got Derwin James. Great team to come back to right now with young Herbert, and I think he's going to play fantastic. I think Derwin James is going to show us who he really is.
All right, I'm going to take McCaffrey. McCaffrey was my Player of the Year, so he'll come back and be a beast. Coach of the Year, I'm going to take Sean McDermott, coach for the Bills. I think the Bills are going to win that division cleanly and handily. I think he's a great candidate.
I'm going with Kyle Shanahan. Like I said earlier, genius.
I'm going to go with Cliff Kingsbury just because it's such a hard division. He's done a lot of work on the team through the draft and free agency. If he can pull out that division title, I think that he will get Coach of the Year.
All right, so those are our preseason awards. Take them as you please, and we'll figure out and keep it week by week, as Scott said, and it'll keep us going with that. But we'll get right into our Week 1 picks. Here we are on Week 1. Week 1 picks. Here we go. Let's just get this up and running. 1 second, please. All right, let's see here. Oh, apologies. 1 second. Let's grab this and put it up here. Let's take this and go here.
And take this and go
And
here.
take this and go here. All right. All right, Week 1 picks. Thursday Night Football, 8:20. Cowboys at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 8.5-point favorites, as we always mention. I will take the Bucs. Zach, who you got?
I'm going to take the Bucs too.
Also taking the Bucs. This is one that needs very little description.
All right, first 1 o'clock game. 49ers, 7.5-point favorites at the Lions. I will take the 49ers.
I'm going to take the 49ers too. We all agree we love some Dan Campbell, but I don't think that team's there yet.
The 49ers. It's inexplicably so.
Clean and simple. 49ers.
Clean and simple. It actually moved to -9 because the 49ers are so good at football. Buccaneers across the board. 49ers across the board. Next 1 o'clock game, Cardinals at the Titans.
Titans are 3-point favorites. Zach, who do you have?
I'm going to pick the Titans. Derrick Henry is an absolute monster, and the offense is too new and too cool to not want to pick them.
You know, I did go with some back and forth on this, was very much considering a Cardinals selection here, but truthfully, like Zach said, that offense is going to be way too fresh and doing way too many great things for them to lose.
I think the Cardinals have a shot to upset, but I'm going to take the Titans, so Titans across the board for all of us. 1 o'clock, Chargers at the Washington football team. Chargers are a mere 1-point favorite. I will take the Washington football team.
I'm also going to fade the favorites and pick the Washington football team.
I am going against my co-hosts, and I am going with the Chargers. I like what Herbert's going to be walking into. I like Keenan Allen. I like Mike Williams. I like that revamped O-line with Corey Linsley, and I like it with Rashawn Slater through the draft. I really like that defense coming back. Like I said, Derwin James, you know, it's going to be an interesting game, but I think the Chargers pull it out. I think there is too much hype behind the Washington football team.
All right, next 1 o'clock. Eagles at the Falcons. Falcons are 3-point favorites. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm also taking the Falcons. Like their offense, I like Matt Ryan much more than I like any other player that's going to be stepping onto that field.
I'm going to take the Eagles. I think the Falcons only have like a couple really interesting players, and I think the rest of their roster is pretty bad. The Eagles still have a fantastic offensive line with everyone back healthy, a new exciting quarterback, and an upgraded defense. I'm going to take the Eagles.
All right, let's see. 1 o'clock, Jaguars, 3-point favorites at the Houston Texans. I'm going to take the Jaguars.
I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but I'm going to take the Texans, even without Deshaun Watson. I think the Texans' defense is the best unit on that field.
So you think this is the one win they're going to get?
This could be the one win they're going to get. This could be it. At home. If Tyrod Taylor can manage, they have decent receivers, nothing spectacular. We'll see. We'll see if the defense can win the game for him against rookie quarterback.
The Jaguars are better in every position across the entirety of the board.
I disagree.
I can't disagree with him more. The Jaguars are going to win this game, and now I hope they win by 1,000. You think the Texans' defense is gone?
They're not a great defense. I think the Jaguars are awful.
They're not a defense.
The Jaguars are awful. They have a way worse defense. They have Miles Jack and Jonathan. What the heck is his name? Jonathan Allen.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. You're right. Rest of the team is just it's really, really bad.
Oh, God.
All right, Urban Meyer going down to Houston with his first overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. We'll see how that one turns out. 1 o'clock, Jets at the Panthers. Jets are 5.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers.
Panthers, 100%. I want to see how well Zach Wilson does, and I do have faith in the Robert Saleh system. But I think the Panthers are going to have a really good season, and I think they're my sneaky team to make the playoffs.
I'm not so big on the Panthers. This was actually one of the games that, when I said before, I think there's 5 that the Jets could pull off. This is one of them, but I don't think they're going to get it.
All right, Panthers across the board. Sam Darnold faces his former team against Matt Rule. Sam Darnold and Matt Rule against his former team with a new coach and a new quarterback in Zach Wilson. Next 1 o'clock, Seahawks, 2.5-point favorites at the Colts. I'm going to take the Seahawks.
I'm also going to take the Seahawks, and my MVP favorite, Russell Wilson, with his 2 dynamite receivers and his defense.
Seahawks. That's all I got to say.
Hawks across the board. Seattle walks into Colts and wins one. 1 o'clock, Steelers at the Bills. Bills are 6.5-point favorites. Bills Mafia, let's go Bills.
I'm reluctantly saying the Bills, even though I have Josh Allen as my MVP candidate. I do think they're going to win this game, but I think that spread is a little bit ridiculous. I do think the Steelers team is still just as good, if not even better than they were last year, but I do like the Bills, and I think that they're going to be explosive this year.
I'm going to pick the Bills, too. I mean, Luigi pretty much said everything.
All right, Bills across the board in Buffalo. One of the first games back with fans in Buffalo. 1 o'clock, final 1 o'clock. Minnesota Vikings, 3.5-point favorites at the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to take the Vikings.
I originally had the Bengals written down, but I changed it to the Vikings. I don't think that team's there yet, even though I absolutely love Joe Burrow. Give him a few years till he's a top 10, top 5 quarterback in the league. He's so talented. But that Vikings team is way older. I'm going to just pick the Vikings.
I side with my friends here. I take the Vikings.
Minnesota across the board. First 425 game The Browns at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 6-point favorites.
Heck of a game.
Kansas City Chiefs for me.
I want to pick the Browns. I think there's a lot of avenues for them to get this win, but the Chiefs are just too good to bet against.
Once again, I'm with them. Like I was saying about Tyreek Hill, I think he's going to do fantastic things this season. I'm really pulling for the Browns, and I say this is another spread to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chiefs across the board. Next, 4:25 game. Denver Broncos, 3-point favorites at the New York Football Giants in MetLife. We'll be at this game, as we said. Super excited to get going. Zach, who you got?
I'm going to take the Denver Broncos -3. I think -3 isn't undervalue, frankly.
I have to agree with Zach. I think that Saquon is going to be on a very limited carry number. I do not think Daniel Jones is even remotely good. I don't think he should be in the NFL. That Giants O-line is literal garbage. I could field the better O-line with my friends from high school. And I think that, realistically, that Broncos pass rush, now that it's missing Bradley Chubb, I still think is 10 times better than anything the Giants
That's fine. I trust my boys.
All right, I disagree with both. Giants to win the NFC East and to win this first game.
Although I do still want the Giants to win the NFC East because I would love to see Zach.
See, we need Zach eating this shoe, so the Giants will win the NFC East, and they'll grab this one quickly from...
Call Gettleman, tell him.
From the Broncos at MetLife. 65,000 rally towels in MetLife, ready to go on the day after 9/11. It'll be a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's supposed to be, I think, 82 degrees, and we are so excited to go. Giants win one at 4:25 on Sunday. Next 4:25 game, Dolphins at the Patriots. Patriots are -3. I'm taking the Pats.
I'm taking the Pats, too. They got way better. Dolphins stayed the same, just about. Pats.
Bill keeps on building. Patriots by 1 trillion.
4:25, Packers, 3.5-point favorites at the Saints. Go Pack, go for me.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. Sadly, I do love Jameis, but the Packers got this.
Aaron Rodgers across the board. We like to see Jameis win, but not in this one. Sunday Night Football, 8:20, first Sunday Night Football game of the year. The Bears at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are 7.5-point favorites. They now have Matt Stafford. I'm taking the Rams.
Go Rams, go. Too wish-washy Chicago Bears quarterback position.
Go Rams. If they had Justin Fields on the field, I think that it would be a different story, but Andy Dalton is garbage, and the Rams are going to take this game.
Monday Night Football, 8:15. Baltimore Ravens, 4-point favorites at the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to go with Lamar, Harbaugh, and the Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens are hot. Raiders are not.
Okay, well, I'll try to transition from whatever that was. I'm picking the Ravens as well. I really like the Ravens this year. I think they're going to win their division, and I really do think that the Raiders are hot garbage. The -4 should be hammered by every human being that could survive and do so.
All right, there's the picks. We'll see how we do after this week, but we are super excited for Week 1. We hope you enjoy Week 1 to the fullest. First time with NFL fans back. First time with a great feeling coming back to the NFL, but it's been Matt McGrath, Zach Schmola, and Luigi Coppola on WHUS Stores 91.7. This has been Fire Football Radio. We appreciate the listeners and all the callers, and we'll see you next week at 6 p.m. after the first games are played. But until then, have a great night, have a great weekend, and we'll see you then.
Woo-hoo.